Okay, so for my last video, I've got to get on and flex his head from side to side and then walk circles with his head flexed to the inside and then collect him up and put him in frame and walk and trot circles. So I'm going to go ahead and get on him and hopefully I stay in frame. This horse is good at walking forward when I get on. So I'm going to back him up to where you can see his head. And I can flex his head around to this side. And flex his head around to this side. And then I can keep pressure on both reins. And ask him to collect his head through the direction change. He keeps his head pretty collected. He's been rode quite a bit, and if it gets a little sticky, I might just wiggle my reins here and ask him to collect up, or if he gets real sticky, I might back him up until he drops his head. And we can get our head going both ways and collect it up. So, my next exercise is to walk a circle both ways with his head bent to the inside, and I don't in fact have to do anything to do that. He just naturally puts his head to the inside with my leg pressure. And I cue him to turn with my leg pressure, so the tighter the circle, the tighter he's going to put his head. And I can just have my rein down here dangling, and he's going to, for the most part, keep his head to the inside. So this way too, and get his head to the inside and ask him to keep it there. He'll do so on a pretty loose rein. So hopefully I've been in frame the whole time. He'll keep his head in frame there. And my last exercise is to walk and trot circles in frame, collected, and with his head bent a little. So He's really very easy to collect up. All I've got to do is rock the bit a little and he mostly stays there for the most part. We are at a new barn, so he looks around a little, but other than that he's pretty good. And from time to time you might see me, instead of keeping the forward motion and the circle going, I might use my foot and ask him to get off my leg and come around with the front end, and I just do that to keep him light. So if I do that, I'm sorry, it's just habit. So I back him up and put him back in frame, and he'll walk off nice and collected. So I think that's all for our video, and hopefully I was in frame most of the time, so I'm going to go back and watch that. Oh, before I do, I'd like to take my bit out of my horse's mouth and let you guys see it, just so you know what I'm using. Okay, so the bit that I'm using is just, as I said, a little twisted wire with copper, and he likes it pretty well. It's got the mullen relief and it breaks in the middle. It's just a little O-ring snaffle, so he likes that bit, and I get some pretty good response out of him. So that's what I used to tie his head back, because I like to use the snaffles when you're pulling their head around. That way they feel the pressure on the side of their cheek. I will be using a shank bit next time, probably. I've looked ahead, and I think next time I'll use a shank bit, because I will be in a different barn and I won't have this bit anymore. So, thank you.